What's up, bros and hoes, whatever floats your goat? It's Relentless, and I'm back with another Division video. Um, First off, I'm gonna give a shout out to Revolution Gaming, great, awesome community on Facebook for all things gaming, not just Division. We support one another, we promote one another, and we always have the interest of the individual and the community come first. You can check out their link in the description below. Also, if you're looking for a new controller and don't want a high pricey scuff but want something that's more high tech, more durable, and long lasting, then I suggest you check out Cinch Gaming Controllers. Their link is also down in the description below, and you can use code CINCH4206 for 5% off. But anyways, let's jump right into this build. And just before we get into it, just know this is just a generalization of a healer build, support role slash can still do decent amount of damage. It's not all skill power. You can always, throw in everything in skill power and stamina and just be a pure support role, or you can kind of balance things out. And overall, I think this is an overall balanced, more or less, not really a teetotal hybrid, but it has sufficient enough skill power, significant enough damage, and also plays that supporting role. And you can be versatile in how you mix and match its pieces up. So let's get right into it. So first off, as you can see, we're doing 4 Reclaimer to high end. As far as the weapons that I'm running right now, we have a classic RPK 74U with Destructive, Vicious, and Talented. Killing a target with this weapon increases skill power by 15% for 20 seconds. The effect does not stack. Killing a new target refreshes the timer. And Destructive helps out with that additional damage when you're in PvE. And this is more on the lines of a PvE build and not a PvP build. Moving on to my secondary is the SOCOM M1A with Talented. Again, skilled in the second slot, where headshot kills with this weapon increase signature skill resources by 5%, and cool-headed in the free talent slot with performing a headshot reduces all skill cooldowns by 5%. Sorry if I'm stuttering, and I've been away for a while. Don't mean to divert from this build, but thank you guys so much for sticking around. As you all know, I was hospitalized last week, so that's why no videos were up. So I do apologize for that, but I am back. But let's get right back into this build. If you prefer an SMG, I had this timing gun also with Predatory, Determined, and the Carefree talent. If you want something more up close and personal, and then you still have several options for as secondary. I got this surplus SPD with Deadly, Toxic, and Unforgiving. But, since I'm not speccing full into skill power, then using these other talents such as Skilled and Talented also help me get my cooldowns reduced a lot faster. So that way I can implement my healing station and my defibrillator and be a better support role. Also, as you can see, M700 Carbon with Predatory on it. Killing a target regenerates 35% of health over 20 seconds, and Deadly and Determined also in the third slot. Killing a target reduces skill cooldowns by 7.5%. As you can see, all these marksman rifles are very much viable, and also LMG, and also utilizing an SMG with this build. Now let's get right into the gear. I went with the Rapid chest piece, decent armor base roll, and also over 1250 in electronics, and it has 8% skill haste and 15,689 health. You can substitute that health for something else depending on your playstyle and how you want to run this build in incursions or PvE scenarios. Also, you don't have to use Rapid, but we all know Rapid decreases your cooldown for healing skills by 15%. If you want to be a little more tanky, you can put on a Vigorous chest piece. And the reason why I say Vigorous makes you more tanky is because you receive that overheal, so therefore you have more health, so that makes you more tanky. You can also go with the Bullets Proof Vest, also the Barrett's chest piece. That'll give you, when using your skills and having your cooldowns and everything in sync, that'll give you, a damage bonus and toughness bonus and skill power bonus. But those things will constantly be rapidly changing since PvE and you have all these skill cooldown and skill haste stacked on. So it's just really based on the gamer's preference of how he would want to use this build. I know Marco Style and others have made healer builds that far surpass this current one that you actually are seeing. But this is, like I said, my interpretation and my generalization. Don't just use any old YouTuber's video as a more or less guide to the way you have to spec your gear or the way you have to roll things. Just look at it as just like I'm presenting mine to you as a generalization of it, because everybody plays different. They have different mindsets and different skill sets. So therefore, they're going to play differently. And also, the talents, the major attributes, the minors all play a role in how you perform in PvE and actually how you play as a gamer in general. But moving on, as you can see, attributes, once again, skill, haste, health. The minors, I prefer ammo capacity. But this is the best rapid chest piece that I actually have as far as armor rolls and the major attributes. So I chose this one. And in the mod slots, I have 266 electronics with 3293 health, and another 263 electronics and 3108 skill power. Moving on to the mask. Low stamina roll, but I prefer a little something different, but this is the only one that I had. I ran out of funds, as you can see, rolling everything, and I've been away from the division. I haven't been able to actually grind for funds to re-roll everything. But, in this situation, the 10.5% exotic damage resilience on the major attribute slot does come in handy for, the current way the Seeker Mine situation is going. And as far as grenades and being, people with short bow knee pads. So it does come in handy here and plays a role in survivability. But you can choose this and replace it for skill power, crit hit chance, preferably not crit hit chance, since you're basically more along the balanced support role. Or you can leave exotic damage resilience on and then re-roll the stamina for even more stamina to make your toughness go up a little higher. Or you can, full spec into skill power and just become basically a paladin or healer, and that's it. And the minor attributes, 11% damage to elites, which also is really nice and handy when it comes to PvE. And the firearms, I had to put a 256 firearms and 3208 health to unlock all talents on my weapons. So that is the only firearms mod that I have on this build. Moving on to the knee pads. Decent armor base roll. There's better knee pads out there. The stamina, I prefer it over 1250. But use whatever's you have at your disposal. I'm pretty sure that most of you have better knee pads out there or have grinded in, have different ones. But these were good as far as the majors and the minors. The major attributes, since it's PvE, 2% protection from elites. You can also switch that up and either go for more health or crit damage. It all depends on what you prefer. But then in this case, since this is a PvE build, specifically spec'd for PvE, the 2% protection from elites comes in handy. And then as also you can see in the minor attributes, 13% damage to elites, disorient resistance, and shock resistance. Moving on to the mod slots, 255 electronics with 3043 skill power with a first aid self-heal. Now I prefer support station duration or increased healing speed in these mod slots, and I prefer to spec in. You can spec even further more into electronics and skill haste in every single mod and just become completely full out blown. As soon as your station is over with, you get one kill, bam, you got your your station back, or you can get it back in just a split second of time. But currently I do not have any of the requirements as far as when it comes to the electronics or stamina mods with skill haste on them, and the RNG gods have not blessed me, so that's why I just have these temporarily in its spot till I can find better ones. Moving on to the backpack, you can go with specialized or inventive. I chose specialized here because the 1243 firearms, it's the only thing that's rolled to firearms, and that's just, like I said, to unlock all talents on the weapons I have chosen, and to have those specific talents all unlocked so that way I can utilize them to better use this build in PvE situations. Decent armor base roll, decent firearms, could be higher. but the major attribute spot that was down there was a complete waste, so I opted into roll it for skill power, and then it has plus 16% bleed resistance, and then my slot 248 stamina with 3% skill haste, 5% allied heal, and a 5.5% first aid self heal. Moving on to the gloves, 1248 in electronics. Good base armor roll, 994. It only goes 7 more higher than that. Marksman rifle damage, enemy armor damage that plays into the PvE, and 5% crit hit chance. But basically, the trifecta is the weapon that you'll be using of choice, and then crit chance and crit hit damage. But since this is a PvE, I chose it and thought it was best to go with enemy armor damage, and marksman rifle damage and crit hit chance. Since I do have this glorious M1A, because if I switch to an SMG or the LMG, it does significant enough damage for more or less mid to close range, and then I have the M1A to sit back and just take pop shots and get those headshots to reduce my skill cooldowns to even further. Moving on to the holster. As you can see, good base armor roll, but as far as main stats, kind of crappy across the board. I could have chose to reroll, electronics, but for a little higher electronics. But in this case, I chose to reroll the major attribute spot and equip on more skill haste to better utilize this build and to be more efficient in my healing and getting my skills back to be a better support role player. Now, you can mix and match these different variations and different things. As far as, like I said, backpack with inventive, you can swap out the chest piece. You can go full spec into skill power if you'd like, but as you can see, I have 2 stamina, 1 firearms, and 2 electronics. That gives me significant enough skill power, and use not turret duration, but the healing station mods in your slots, and that will help out your healing station even more. But as you can see, 6348 health per second, 975 meters is my range due to the talents on the Reclaimer build, and the lifetime is at over a minute at 66 seconds, and my cooldown is 24 seconds. But in PvE, you know how NPCs drop like flies, so therefore with that 5% cooldown popping in at every single headshot that you deliver, or every single kill that you get with a headshot, that can be significantly reduced way down to, in between 5 to 10 seconds, if not even further. Also, defibrillator, I'm healing myself for 108k, almost 109k health, and my ally heal is 183k. You can run and choose something else besides defibrillator if you want to run the overdose. As you can see, self heal almost 200k, or if you want to go booster shot to help out your teammates that are DPSing or whatever, you still get a significant enough health for yourself and for your teammates. But overall, PvE wise, I think this is a decent build, but it has ways and ways of things to improvement. The best thing about this build is basically just the talents of the 4-piece and how it's set up, not more or less the stats that are actually on it, but the way also the weapon talents go hand in hand as far as for this particular gear set, and it being a spec into PvE, with destructive playing a part in PvE when it comes to against NPCs, and then the talented increasing my skill power with a kill, and then like I said, with talented, skilled, and cool-headed on your secondary, your skills are getting reduced so much even further, and I'll show you on my character sheet. 190% headshot damage. Damage to elite is 24%, so that's a significant chunk going into NPCs and down on them very quickly with such low firearms. And 8% enemy armor damage. Skill power 203k, almost 204k. Skill haste at 18%. Like I said, with the better mods in the mod slots, you can fully spec into skill haste and get that up. You can double that easily. I just chose to mix and match with what I had and what I used, because this is just an overview, a generalization of it, and not a Bible holy grail. This is the way you must build this build. Any other build video is just crap compared to this one. No, this is just a generalization, and to kind of give you a your blind's eye view of how I would do this build if I was in purely PvE situations, and this is by no means a PvP build whatsoever. This is a pure PvE build. I have enough tankiness with 5,007 toughness, significant enough electronics, and enough firearms to solo basically lots of things by myself because of the skill haste and the talents that I have. So make sure your talents on your weapons correlate well with the talents on whatever gear set you're using, and you'll be just fine. Max health is 207, and my armor is 31.97, so right at 32%, and that's general the borderline of the flat line of where your armor wants to be. But like I said, if you try to use this more or less in Last Stand, then I would switch things up quite a bit and have better rolls on gear and actually re-roll things for PvE, PvP, but this is basically exactly for PvE. But thank you guys so much for watching. I know this has kind of been like a hectic video. I haven't been articulating well, and that's due to my hospitalization that I was just under, and I just came home Saturday. But I wanted to get some content out there for you guys. I appreciate you guys so much for sticking around and showing me so much love and support. Enjoying all the comments. If you have any further comments, leave them in the comment section below. I don't particularly like drama comments or comments on the negative side. So generally, if it's like a teetotal bashing and not a critiquing of the video, then nobody's going to see it because no one really cares, and I don't really care about drama. So keep it positive and constructive, or don't comment at all. But I do value your input on build videos and the content of my videos and what you guys want to see. Don't forget to check out the links in the description below as far as the gaming community. The coupon code for the controller. If you're looking for a high-end tech controller that's basically better than a Scuff and a lot cheaper and a lot more durable, so check Cinch Gaming out. Also, if you want to become a patron, you can check out the Patreon link. It's also in the description below. It gives you a variety of different ways to help contribute to the channel, but by also in turn, all that goes back into the channel for more giveaways, and there'll be one giveaway coming up very soon at 1,100 subs. We just had a console giveaway at 1K subs, 1,100. I'm probably going to give away a set of Control Freaks, the new Call of Duty ones that come out, especially for the new Call of Duty World War II that are coming out later on this year. And then around probably 1,200, I'll be giving away an actual Cinch controller for the console of your choice. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. Sorry it was a long rant video that I drug it out long. But once again, thank you for your loyalty, and we'll see. Panda, 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 panda. I got broads in Atlanta, just to the lean the family. Credit cards in the scammers, hitting the licks in the van.